I don't have any words to describe the feelings that I'm feeling right now. What did I witness last night? This is what sport's all about. This is what hockey's all about. I'm sorry, this is going to be like the most all over the place video I'll probably ever make, but I don't care. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Victoria and I talk about all things NHL related from across the pond in Scotland. And today we're talking about Game 6, Round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Toronto Maple Leafs versus Tampa Bay Lightning. Leafs win it 2-1 in overtime and advance to the second round for the first time since 2004. I was 4 years old the last time that happened. I didn't even know what hockey was, so basically this is the first time in my lifetime, and certainly since I've been old enough to have any knowledge of it, that this has happened. I was so nervous going into the game last night because I'd kind of resigned myself to that if it went to Game 7, the chances were slim because we've seen the Leafs in Game 7 and I didn't feel overly confident in it. I'm a very naturally optimistic person, but Game 7s just terrify me so much. And I did predict before the round started that the Leafs were going to win it in 6. So I'd kind of convinced myself that it was going to happen. And this game is probably the most stressful Leafs game I think I've ever watched, to be honest. Because the first period goes by and I'm feeling kind of okay. I'm tired, I'm not going to lie, I'm tired. Nothing of any scoring happens, and in the second, obviously, Austin Matthews gets a goal, which my tattoo was buzzing because he scored, number 34 scored 34 minutes into the game, and I was just thinking, this is a sign, you know, my all-time favourite hockey player has scored at the same timestamp as his number. I'm just thinking this has got to be a sign. This is it. However, then in the third, I'm just thinking, go into this and just don't let Tampa in, just hold it. And Steven Stamkos scores 4 minutes 11 into the third period. And I haven't lost hope. It's not that by any means. It's just that when the period ends and it's 1-1 at the end of regulation, that's the third overtime of this series, and it's also every single game in Tampa has gone to overtime, and I'm just wondering, has the luck ran out? Has the overtime luck ran out? Because the Leafs previously were not great in overtime, whereas they had won the previous 2 that were in overtime, and I was just worried that they couldn't pull off a third time. And I'm watching, and Tampa were good that overtime. They were getting some great chances, they were making some great plays, and they were dominating. And I'm thinking, this is it, it's done. And I am sitting on the edge of my sofa. It's 3 a.m, guys, and I'm sitting on the edge with my head in my hands, slightly rocking back and forth and sweating. And every time Tampa would get possession and go on the offensive, I was freaking out. But I freaked out even more when John Tavares hits one home, assisted by Matthew Knies and Morgan Rielly. Morgan Rielly, the most consistent guy on the team this postseason. Matthew Knies, the newest addition to the team and a very valued one at that. And John Tavares, Johnny Toronto, our captain, one of the most iconic guys to play for the Leafs of this era, I would say. And he scores it. There couldn't be a better guy to score that OT winner that gets us to the second round as John Tavares. There's nobody else I would rather had it. And I am screaming, I am shouting, I am crying because this team just means so much to me. And I know that there's a lot of people who are either casual sports fans or don't like sports, and they don't understand why someone would ever be so emotionally invested in a sports team. But unless you have that, you don't get it, I don't think. I have spent so much of my time on this team since I started watching hockey, and all of the late nights, the lack of sleep, the optimism that I've kind of always had in this team, it just all seems so worth it in that minute, and I was just so overwhelmed with emotion. And I still haven't come down from it, honestly, and I don't think I'm coming down from it anytime soon. Like, that is Leafs history right there, and I know that to other hockey fans it's just getting out the first round, but when you're a Leafs fan, it's so much more than that. And just to see everybody so happy and to just feel part of something so amazing is just the best feeling ever. And I'm also so excited that we just get more Leafs hockey. I'm also excited that Keefe and Dubas were the ones to do it, because I love those guys and I love the team that we have, and I hated the thought that if they lost in the first round again, the chances are a lot of it was going to be dismantled and we were going to lose a lot of it, and I hated the thought of that, even though I knew it would probably have to happen. So it wasn't just getting past the first round, it was preserving some of the team that we have and we've all come to love, and you can just tell how much it means to everybody. But it's so much more than just winning a first round, and I'm just excited there's more Leafs hockey now, because we have another couple of weeks of Leafs hockey, and the pressure's off slightly, because even though it would be so nice to progress even further, getting past the first round was the main hurdle that I think most people wanted to see the Leafs overcome. But I feel like we can enjoy the second round probably more than the first, because there's not the same degree of pressure. Tonight we find out whether it's going to be Boston or Florida. I personally, I'm not overly fussed either way, because honestly, I did not think that series was going to a game 7. I had Boston down for a sweep in that series. It was the only sweep I put in my bracket, and oh, how wrong was I, which I'm glad about. I'm not complaining that my bracket was wrong, because I did not want that to be a sweep, and then the Leafs to get them coming off a sweep, because that momentum would be so big that it would be a challenge to be up against. Whereas I feel like Boston's momentum's probably slightly slowed down, because they've been so amazing all year, and then now it's gone to a game 7 against a team that realistically, on paper and analytically, they should have beaten by now. On the other hand, Florida are really good and they could do a lot of damage, so we'll see what happens. I'm still slightly swayed towards wanting the Panthers instead of Boston, because Boston are just terrifying. So ideally I would like Panthers, but honestly I'm so focused on the Leafs right now that I don't care. I'm just happy they're there, no matter which team they have. So I could keep talking for a million more years, but I want to make sure I can get a video up today. And honestly, my brain is not at full capacity on 3 hours sleep I think I got. Plus I'll properly do a preview for the second round, which I did not think I was going to get to do this year. That's so exciting. Also, thank you to everybody who watches these, because I started this YouTube channel thinking that like 2 people would maybe watch it, and instead there's hundreds of you watch it, and I'm so grateful, because I'm literally just this random girl from Scotland who just loves the Leafs so much, and I like talking about it on the internet. So thank you so much to everybody who supports this, and well, we've got a lot more content to go, don't we? I am so excited. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I don't have any words. Okay, I'm gonna go because I just don't have any words anymore. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll be back soon with more hockey chats from across the pond. Bye, guys.